Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics / Non-Classics. This episode number 1598 and Doubleshot number 1492. This reviewing the second trade that collected issues of Thunderbolts Volume 2 and the first trade and basically a Venom trade. You'll find out which one I'll talk about. Alright, first up it is Thunderbolts Volume 2 Red Scare. Yeah, this is the final trade that collect issues from Daniel Way's run for the book. Do not know why his run ended for. It ended after only just 11 issues. 12 basically was the conclusion that this story arc was not done by him. It was basically the first issue done by Charles Shaw. Yes, we're finally into the very first book basically Charles Shaw did for Marvel. I kind of thought it was She-Hulk, but no, it was this very book. Now, honestly, I don't know why he was selected to replace Daniel Way. Was there a problem with Daniel Way? Did he get fired? If I get a chance to ask Charles Shaw this, I will ask him, what the heck happened? Or at least maybe Daniel Way might know the answer to this. Of why the heck he got replaced for the conclusion of his second story arc of this run. Mostly put for this story arc, it's mostly the team just operating out of, well... Okay. They basically operate out of the submarine now. They just do whatever the heck they want. There's some minor stuff. I mean, there's not much. There's not really the only thing big happening here is we have a very similar story arc where we have the brother of one of the members of the team they have to take on. Last time it was the leader's brother, Madman. Now it's Elektra's brother. Yes, the brother of Elektra. And you're thinking, wait, Elektra has a brother? Yeah, she seriously does. And you're thinking, wow, we're just retreading the last story already with this very similar plot thread where the main villain just happens to be the brother of one of the members of the team. There's at one point where the group tries to meet him because, well, they think Ross is a liar. They easily get beaten by Ross. And... well, throughout this whole thing, they're constantly trying to fight them, and it's a very similar story arc, where there was some kind of dictatorship. Oh, it's very much not like crazy as what happened in the last story arc per se. It does feel like the next chapter of this book, but it just feels like a retread of basically what you just already did. Then, of course, they do kill off the brother. Now, I also point out though, issues 7 through 11 are not done by Phil Noto. Oh no. Those issues are actually some of them are Steve Dillon, some of Phil Noto. He does those issues for some reason. Also, the stuff related to him. We also have a secondary villain here. We have a guy named Ivan Vanko, I believe his name. Actually, it's Anton Vanko. They kind of confuse it. Where this guy is nephew of the original Crimson Dynamo, and he's in this very story arc. And you're thinking, really? The nephew of the original Crimson Dynamo is in here. Yeah, he is for some strange reason. I don't know why. Yes, and the way they go about... oh, and by the way, the thing with... they also have a brief cameo appearance by... get this. They have a cameo appearance by, of all people... the Unity Division for the Avengers. Why are they here? Because they didn't like the fact they had to clean up a mess that the U.S. government did. Yeah, they're just here for a quick cameo, and that's it. Yes. But in the case of the guy who they're after here, Vanko... now, Ostrad Nagos, he's Elektra's brother. He made his first appearance in the very first volume for Elektra from the 90s. Yep, that's when he first showed up. Yeah, in that volume that lasted for 4 issues. So, first it was a Hulk villain, now it's an Elektra character for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, Elektra has had not much encounters with him. Aside from appearing in that miniseries, issues like 2 through 4, he returned years later. Like, here's the thing. Like, before he made appearance issue 9, his last appearance was in 1995 in the final issue of Elektra Volume 1. His next appearance was 18 years later. Yes, 18 years. Why the heck they waited so long to bring this character back? I don't know. Oh, by the way, the guy's name is Arthur Vanko. Yes. He appears just for these 2 issues, and he's a nephew of the original Crimson Dynamo. Which, okay, so connected with Iron Man villain. And he's in here for like a couple issues. Excuse me. Yes. Yes. Interesting though, they created the character who just happens to be the nephew of a classic Iron Man character. Why the heck they have him die off screen? How did he die? He fell off a hotel balcony, committed suicide for some reason. And the whole thing with this story is this is something they mentioned in the last story, all about gamma batteries. And that's what's paid off here. And they do in fact go after Elektra's brother, who gets killed off at the end of this story arc in issue not done by Danny Way, by Charles Shaw. And Punisher has some words with Elektra's brother, which is no mention in the conversation of the guy. Hey guy, you know I'm sleeping with your sister, right? That's basically, I'm surprised that Charles Shaw didn't write that. That he didn't bring up the fact that he's sleeping with Elektra. Yep, he did not bring it up at all for some reason. Nope, he basically is like, oh yeah, when your parents had Elektra, at least they're like, oh, at least it's better that piece of crap Ortis. Yeah, because he thought though that basically Elektra's parents basically thought their son was basically a piece of crap. This is like the Punisher thinks he is. Yes, and who was responsible for killing off this guy? I think Elektra killed him. I think it was following Punisher, but here's the weird thing though. Elektra was never mad at Punisher for killing her brother. I would have thought though she would have, because they're siblings. And I'm sure since she's an assassin, she probably felt as though that she should be the one to kill her brother. Kind of like how it's similar to what happened with the previous story arc, where you have Madman get killed by the leader. Though this time, basically, we don't have the sibling killing another sibling this time. At least Charles Shaw does not go down that route. It's Punisher kills him. Yes, which probably makes it like the third character is killed off in this book. Now, why they brought back this character, don't know. Because, well, Danny Way leaves the book for no explained reason. And then he hands off the book to Charles Shaw. Yeah. You know the weird thing about the Thunderbolts? Like, this particular group, they only made appearances in, like, a couple books. Outside of the main book. They appeared in the annual, per se. But they also appeared in a couple issues of the Gauntlet. Yeah, it was a one-shot for Deadpool. It was a digital first comic. They appeared for a couple issues. And that was it. Yeah, appears in, like, 2 issues for Punisher, for Deadpool. And yeah, that's the weird thing about it. I'm looking at basically the Thunderbolts right now, where like you have all these members and yet they don't appear in any other book, and for like no reason at all. Yeah, I don't know the reason for it. But in the case of basically for this abrupt ending to Danny Way's run, it was interesting for what it was. I think this was also Danny Way's last book he worked at Marvel. Because I don't think he's done anything at Marvel since then. Let me see here. I'm thinking he hasn't done anything since his book wrapped up. He probably got fed up with politics at Marvel. Well, he did work on a couple books after this. He did leave Marvel, but the only two books he worked on after this was one issue of Deadpool. He worked on issue 27 of the fifth volume, and he worked on Nerdy 30 for Deadpool. And that's it. Yeah, he worked on one of the stories here. Let's see. Wasn't the opening story. Wasn't the second one. Third. Let's see. Yeah, it was no chill whatsoever. Yeah, this was his last official story he did. But so let me get this straight. After the guy who worked at Marvel for over a decade, writing really good comic books. What was the first comic you might ask he wrote for Marvel? Well, it was Spider-Man's Tangled Web. Issue 16. This was, in fact, his very first comic he came out with. Yeah, he worked on the first two. He worked on 2 issues of this, and then he did a few issues of Wolverine. He did a pretty lengthy run for Venom, so at least he has experience writing Venom. Punisher, I don't think he wrote any Punisher comics. No, I think he did. Here's a little fun fact for you about one of the comics he did. There was a Ant-Man comic that he was supposed to write. Yes, an Ant-Man comic. And you're thinking, an Ant-Man comic? When was this book supposed to come out? What was the book that starred Scott Lang? No. This book was supposed to star Hank Pym. Yes. And get this. The book was supposed to come out in 2003. I wasn't reading this point, but I did learn, like, okay. So, this is apparently supposed to be Hank Pym's very first solo title. But got canceled for some reason. If I get a chance to meet Danny, I will ask him, what the heck was behind the cancellation of this book? And you think books basically canceled recently before they got published was a recent phenomenon. Oh no, this is something that's been going longer than that. Yeah, and in case you're curious though, aside from this, what else have I reviewed by Daniel Way? Well, off the top of my head, I did review his Dark Wolverine run. Yes. A little bit of his Deadpool run. Let's see, I reviewed Dark Wolverine, pretty much all the issues for that run. I didn't review the final issue yet, but I reviewed a good chunk of that run. And basically mostly just Dark Wolverine and this book. And of course some issues of X-Men Wolverine, an issue of Astonishing the X-Men. I think that was it. Yeah. And of course this book right here. Yeah, and that's pretty much it when it comes to Daniel. I do enjoy this guy's work. He's personally one of my favorite writers. It's kind of weird though the guy left Marvel when he did. He left in like 2013, which is kind of weird that he did. Alright, jumping ahead a few years. We have a book that I have been regretting want to talk about, especially since I am not a big fan of this particular run at all. Now, I have nothing against Mike Haas. The stuff he did after this was a heck of a lot better than this piece of garbage. We have Venom Volume 1 Homecoming. Yes, done by Mike Costa, which I kind of trust in doing the book because he wrote G.I. Joe Cobra. Yep, he wrote that book. I thought it was really good. They are worked on by Geraldo Salvador, who does the first 4 issues. Issue 5 is done by Eben Costello. Now, this book, oh boy. This is the 5-issue run that is Venom Volume 3 before it got renumbered to the triple digit numbering that got wrapped this. And that was a heck of a lot better stuff than this piece of garbage. This was trash. Oh my gosh. I was not a fan of this run at all. And here's the thing. We have a new Venom here, despite the fact we technically already had a Venom Flash Thompson. And you're thinking, yeah, here's the thing. We have a debut of a new character here in this book. The very first issue, we have Lee Pierce, the most boringest host of the Venom symbiote. There is nothing really interesting character aside from the fact he is ex-Ranger. He is boring. by far, I do not like this character at all. And thank God he was not around very long. And when they brought him back to be a freaking villain, I like that better as a villain and he tried to be a hero. Yeah, how he got the Venom symbiote is basically kind of bizarre. He just randomly found out some homeless guy. By the way, does Mike Costa bother to explain how the heck this frickin' happened? Like, how the heck did the Flash symbiote get separated from the Venom symbiote? Nope, he doesn't want to do that at all. Nope, he doesn't frickin' give a damn about that. He does not give an explanation for it. I mean, he'll probably beg them to do it. But no, he rather let the previous writer handle that in Venom 150. Yep, Venom 150. That is how they explain how the heck this happened. Because this weird gun this FBI agent had scared the Venom symbiote away from Flash Thompson. I'm thinking, a gun. Was it a sonic gun? Don't know. The book didn't probably explain it. It was by Robbie Thompson. Yes. And I am not a fan of the Venom look. Like, this is stupid. Like, the white lines over the fingers. This look for Venom is terrible. Yes. This guy is a criminal. Is there anything I do like about this book? The fact Matt Gorgon is here. That's it. That's the only thing I like about this book. The fact that Matt Gorgon is here. We have a book featured Matt Gorgon. I like the Scorpion. I like him. He's a cool character. But this is stupid. I didn't like the artwork at all. The artwork was garbage. I hated this artwork. It was so bad. I mean, take a look at this. This other guy draws Lee Pierce. Yeah, I didn't like this artwork at all. I have nothing against the artist at all, but I am not a fan of this artwork. It is just so bad. I mean, who was asking for a new host for the Venom symbiote? Answer? Nobody. Oh, yeah, he's... Okay, so... Yeah. Aside from working on this, he worked on Cable and X-Force. Worked on some Wolverine issues. I thought this is just a piece of garbage. Yeah, by far a run that I didn't care for. And I'm kind of glad it didn't last very long. Lasted for roughly, like I said, 6 issues. Yes, so... And you probably think, are you so happy with the fact that the Venom symbiote was hosted by Flash Thompson again? Well, not Flash Thompson. Eddie frickin' Brock. Oh, yes. Definitely. I was so happy with that because he's a lot better of a host than frickin' Lee Pierce. The guy is bland. He is not interesting at all. And he is basically a guy who just didn't care. Plus, the way the artist drew him, drew out stuff like that, he drew him to be so thin as the Venom host. Like, the guy had no muscles to speak of. And he didn't fit the Venom symbiote. Not at all. And then he gets arrested at the end of this book. And then the good thing happens at the end of this book where the symbiote, which is separated from him, gets taken by Eddie Brock. And he was basically Venom from this point forward. Up until just this year. He was Venom for 4 years. For this point, for the next 4 years. Now, I get the reason why that they switched back to Eddie Brock against nostalgia value. But I have to ask, what the heck was wrong with having Flash Thompson be Venom? At this point, he had been Venom for 6 years. Yes. Now, here's the thing. From what I remember from the reception when this book was announced, was pretty negative because, oh yeah, a new Venom. And a lot of people were like, we already have Venom. Why would we need a new one for? It was kind of similar with All New Ghost Rider when that came out, where the reception was pretty negative, but at least Rob Reyes is a good character. I like that character compared to Lee Pierce. He is a piece of garbage, and I'm glad they don't have him anymore as Venom. Because, thank God, his tenure as Venom was so short. Only 6 issues. And I'm so happy he's gone. Well, in case you're wondering, where is he? Oh, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead. He got killed off. Just prior to Absolute Carnage. Who killed him, you might ask? Don Dakotas. Because I'm sure he figured, though, that Lee Pierce was a piece of garbage. Like, he probably didn't give a damn about this character, so he killed him off. Yeah, which, thank you for that. Thank you, Don Nicotis, for killing off a character that I didn't really give a damn about. I'm like, why the heck did Mike Costa even create this character? Yes, that's a good question. Why the heck did he create him? Like, his tenure as Venom was boring. Well, here's the thing. We also had guest appearance by Felicia Hardy in this book when she was the time as the crime boss. Because, of course, we had to have the crime boss here. She is much better as a hero than a freaking villain. Yeah. And, like I said, well, I mentioned this in my review for, I think it was Passbury, aka Hellcat. Yeah, this is during a period of time when they had her as a villain. Being the crime boss. Yeah, and have Lee Pierce briefly work for her. Doesn't really go anywhere at all because after this book, she encounters him once after this in the Venom Incorporated story arc. But after that, nothing. And thank God for that because Lee Pierce, don't care about him. Now, I don't have anything against the artist. He's done better work in this. This book is just not that good. I mean, it's good in some spots, but Lee Pierce, I don't care for him at all. He's garbage Venom, and he is a fake Venom in my opinion. Because he didn't earn it. He had no right to be Venom. This was probably done via some stupid editorial mandate. And then somebody must have realized, though, oh crap, this book is not selling too well. Let's get the symbiote back to Eddie Brock. Instead of basically back to Flash Thompson, who was the actual host at this point in time. Yes, somebody must have felt this all that because the sales part of this book was not that good. And yet they put this in trade. Which, fine, whatever. I'm going to give the book give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah. Didn't care for this book at all. Why did I check it out on this app? Because I want to talk about it. Because how freaking bad it is. And look, here's Felicia Hardy, the Queen of Diamonds. The crime boss thing. A thing that nobody cared for, and people really want Marvel to get rid of this crap because it was garbage. At least Catwoman had a good reason for becoming a crime boss. Black Cat had no reason to. Oh wait, there was a reason. Spider-Man broke a tooth. Seriously, that was the reason for it. Yeah, I didn't care for this run at all. It just didn't feel as though Lee Pierce deserved the right to be it. Like, he was better as freaking Maniac than basically being this. Just not that good. And thank God they got rid of him as the Venom symbiote. That's just my opinion anyways. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. Next one's going to be Shaman King. Okay, next video. Bye.